All right, so I've had some questions keep coming in, so I'm just going to do a little chemical reaction practice today. I'm going to go through two other examples, and we'll try to hit a few different things as we go through this. So we were given this equation on one of the sheets. BaOH2, the OH in brackets, plus Na2SO4 produces BaSO4 plus NaOH. And we were told to balance this equation. So I'm going to get started. I just want to draw a line here to kind of start us off. All right. So there's a number of different ways to go through this. You could draw out the pictures if you had to, or we can just work through with the letters and the formulas. The biggest thing is just to get started and work your way through it. It is really a trial and error type question. So I like going from left to right, and what I will point out here though before we get started, we definitely have some polyatomic ions. So I said one of my hints for polyatomic ions is not to try and count all the separate, in this case the oxygens and so on, but to treat the polyatomic ions as kind of one particle. So I'm going to put some brackets around those two. I'm going to add those brackets back around the OH. We already have them here, but that's what we're talking about. We want to keep those together with our brackets. All right, so I'm going to start counting. I have one BA. So there's my BA. I have one, and I have one over on this side. So that's pretty good. We're okay. How about the OH? Well, over here, I'm going to keep the OH together, but I have two of those. I have two of those. Over here, I just have the one. I need more OH. And remember, our key was if I add OH, I have to add the whole thing. So I need to add NaOH. All right, so now my OH is balanced. Let's just recap. BA, one BA. Two OHs, I have two OHs. Now let's keep going. Na, there are two of them. And if I look over here, I have two of the NAs. So we're good. This whole thing, I have one SO4 and I have one SO4. So we are balanced. It looked like a very big, complicated question, and there's a lot of letters and stuff going on here, but all we really had to do was add one more of these NaOH. So my balanced chemical reaction then would be BaOH2 plus Na2SO4. I have BaSO4 plus now two NaOH. And then all of this other stuff we can just erase. We don't need any more of that stuff. Okay, so that is our balanced chemical equation. Let's just go a little bit further just to recap. Maybe in the future we'll be asked to name these compounds. Okay, so what would we call this here? Well, in this case, we have a polyatomic ion. I need that polyatomic chart. So I'm going to go, first of all, Ba is barium. And the OH, if I look on my chart, OH is hydroxide. So this is barium hydroxide, and we're going to add, what are we going to add on here? This one here, well, the SO4 is my polyatomic, Na is sodium, and it's going to be a little big, so I'm going to just make this a little bit smaller so I have some room. Okay, I have sodium, and SO4 is sulfate. Oops, let's try that again. Sulfate. Remember, don't change your ending to the polyatomic ions. Well, what did that produce? Now that we have all the information, we're really just going to switch things around. So what do we have here? We have barium, and that is our sulfate. And we have sodium now bonded together with the hydroxide. So we can have our skeleton equation with all the symbols, or we can have our word equation here. Let's try another one. Let's go the other way. In this particular question, we were given the word equation. Tin plus chlorine gas produces tin 4 chloride. So we have our Roman numerals here, so it's telling us what tin combining capacity we need to use. But I need to go to my periodic table and find these symbols so I can write this out and then balance it. Tin is Sn. Now it is just tin, so we don't need to have anything else other than the Sn. And I have chlorine gas. That was one of our diatomic molecules. Remember, a gas, we see the gas part here. We need to have 2 of them, 2 chlorines. That is producing, okay, we have tin 4 chloride. So I'm not just going to do, SnCl2. I have to work this through. So I actually going to move down here to the bottom and do a quick crossover. Tin 4 and chlorine is 1. So if I cross this over and do tin 4 chloride, the 4 is going to move here. This 1 is going to move down there, but I don't have to write the 1 in. So tin 4 chloride is actually SnCl4. You know what? Let me put that in blue. Let's get that going here. SnCl4. So you do, especially in the word problems, have to go through the method to write that formula. Don't just take a common mistake would be to just write it as SnCl2, and that is not right. That is not how tin 4 and chlorine bond with each other. Okay, now we can balance it. Let me first just get rid of this part here. Oops, not that. Okay, it's not going to let me do that. Let's go ahead and balance this. So I'm going to just draw my line here. All right, I have 1 Sn and I have 1 Sn. I have 2 of the Cl's, but over here I have 4. So I need more Cl over on this side, and I have to write the whole thing, Cl2. Let's go check again. 1 Sn, 1 Sn. I have now 4 chlorines and 4 chlorines. We are balanced. I'm going to cross that out and put a 2 in here. So there's my balanced chemical reaction. Now let us just rewrite that so it looks neat. Sn plus 2 chlorine gas produces 1 tin 4 chloride. There's our balanced chemical reaction. Keep practicing, and still, I know a couple of you are sending me questions. If you have a question, if you don't understand something, you have to send it to me, and we can make one of these little videos. All right.